Hi, I'm Bart Dixon with Hoffman Construction. We're a Portland, Oregon-based commercial general contractor. We've been around since 1922. We do a large amount of diverse projects throughout the Pacific Northwest and even the Western United States. One of the most important things that we do is communicate with our clients. And a couple of years ago, we ran into a particular challenge where we recognized the need to improve the way we gathered and collected and analyzed information, the way we presented it to our owners. And so this involved purchasing new software. Actually, it involved purchasing a couple of different pieces of software and integrating them and pulling them together. Explaining why we wanted or felt it was needful to do this was a big challenge. And once we began the endeavor, explaining what we were doing was equally as challenging. I remember after sending out an email update on our process of developing and finding this software solution, I received a lot of email response back, a lot of phone calls about, hey, what are you talking about? It didn't make sense. It wasn't clear. What are we doing and why are we doing it? And I realized that my attempt to communicate our effort was somewhat feeble. I met one of the directors of visual translations. He began to explain to me that his whole job was to help people and organizations communicate complex ideas or even simple ideas in a way that was visually compelling, in a way that made sense intuitively and reduced very challenging principles into very digestible ones. And so this dialogue evolved to the point where I invited Mark from Visual Translations to come and learn about what we were doing and to see how he could help us in our need to communicate internally as we endeavor to do change management for the software solution. At our company and in most general contracting companies, there's a host of different types of people who contribute to building a project and to building the company. From our accounting resources and our risk and procurement folks, certainly to our project managers and their administrative help, and all the way through all the folks who are on job sites like the one behind us. Everybody has a very different perspective and contribution they make to a project success to serve a client. And so one of the initial reactions to we're going to change our software, we're going to add software, we're going to change the way we gather information and the way we distribute it, was one of fear. And people deal with concern or frustration differently. Some wanted to be in denial, some were upset, some just tried to avoid the whole topic, and others expressed their confusion about what it was exactly we were trying to do and why we thought it was so important to do that and why it was justifiable to spend so much money to make such an investment. Because there was such a diverse body of stakeholders, we knew that emails or letters, newsletters weren't going to be effective at communicating the concepts and the solutions we were pursuing. We began to work with visual translations to not only communicate what we were trying to accomplish in a way that would effectively distill these ideas across multiple organizations inside the company, but we had to crystallize for ourselves exactly what it is we aimed to accomplish. Once we got there, and once visual translations helped us reduce to writing into picture format what it was we really wanted to achieve, then we were able to start crafting internal pictures and documents that were effective at communicating the changes that were coming and why those changes were necessary, how those changes would improve our organization, and how everybody could, in time, embrace the change and benefit from it rather than be afraid of it or deny that it was coming. So I think the accounting folks realized soon after seeing the drawing that they weren't going to be terribly impacted. I think the procurement folks realized that the impacts to them were minor. The folks who run the projects, they realized that they were getting a resource that they hadn't had for a while. Many people recognized that their tasks, their assignments were going to be made easier, or they were going to have more tools, more robust tools, more reliable tools to accomplish what they took a long time doing every day. When they started to understand that, they became more enthusiastic about learning the software and looking forward to using it in the future. One of the things I'm most grateful for is I believe that the rate of adoption, the speed at which we were able to adopt these new practices, these new methodologies that were made available by the software, was sped dramatically after we engaged and utilized this tools and the solutions that were given to us by visual translation. For those who are endeavoring to take on a new challenge or task or try to overcome an old practice that simply won't change or won't go away, that needs to be renewed and refreshed, I would encourage you to talk to visual translations.